Greetings, greetings. This is my son Goddess. This is my son Goddess. Greetings. I want to talk about that movie. How has everybody day been going? I saw this movie and I just want to do like a little review and my reaction on the movie. I just want to do like a quick review on that movie. It's called A Housemaid. It's called A Housemaid, and I want to do a review on it. I want to do a review on the movie Housemaid. So I saw this movie called Housemaid. I had been seeing the previews of it. So I decided to watch it like last night. And I knew it was gonna be like from reading the title of it, I knew it was gonna be like a psychological thriller like twist where, I'm into those types of movies like that where you really not expecting it. It's you really not expecting it to be a twist like it is. But the movie was really good because it made me feel really comfortable. Like most of the times, I can like tell how the movie's gonna play out. Even it's not even all about men. The movie, how I'm talking about that movie. I'm doing a reaction and review on that movie called The Housemaid. Um, Hi, hello, hello. How you doing, Ashley? How you doing, Ashley? 770. Yeah, I want to do a review on that movie. The movie is good. And lately I've been looking at older movies because I noticed now that if you go back and look at stuff maybe like that you looked at years ago, even though it's not high definition like we're used to now, but the movies have messages that if you did not understand them back then, you will actually understand the movies now. But I want to do this review on this movie called Housemaid. The movie is good because I'm normally able to suspect like how it's gonna turn out and who's the bad guy from the beginning, but I was not able to do that with this movie. This movie had me very comfortable. Like I really thought like that's why I'm like trying to do some I'm thinking, I'm checking myself like I'm like am I like getting off my square or was that movie just that good the way they played it out to make me feel so comfortable like the woman was the bad guy. So I don't want to tell it if you have not seen it. You need to go look at it. I'm gonna try to do a review on it without telling you the movie. Um, this lady is like homeless and she's been in prison for like 10 years, and I mean, it's she's a beautiful lady. The lady that plays as Millie, I was surprised that the other lady did that's the wife, the wealthy wife. I was surprised that she would even let her come in the house to be a housemaid because the girl was attractive. She was, in shape, and she was young. Wasn't a bad looking lady at all, right? So I was like, do people really do this? Like, if I'm a wealthy wife like that, I'm not gonna let no young attractive woman like that come in my house around my husband now. And the guy that's playing and honey, they look rough. They don't even be cute. So he's a pretty big, and I'm not even into the big tall guys, but he looks like a hunk. He looks like, how they would say, how Kevin Samuels said, he was a wealthy man with come from money and had the looks and the teeth and the smile and the, complexion. Cause when they got money like that, they not gonna be all pale. He was looked like he had just, been in the sun just the right amount of time and all of that. So very nice looking. The women were very attractive too. But in the movie, it looked like the wife was like the bad guy. The wealthy wife, she was like really on Millie ass all the time. She hired her and then she would forget, like she'd be like, I want you to schedule some tickets for us because it's going to be my husband's birthday or anniversary or something. So she would tell Millie, I want you to schedule these tickets to this concert, and I want this lavish 5-star room after we leave the concert, and you can have the weekend off, and I'll send the daughter off to the stay with some friends, right? So when when Millie scheduled all this, right, she comes back. The wife comes back and says, What is this for?" She's like, "You told me to schedule, a concert for you and him and your husband and a restaurant and all this and that." So the wife is like, "I didn't tell you to do that." She did this a lot in the movie. Like she would forget that she told her to go pick up the daughter and all this and that, and told her to pick her up at ballet at a certain time, and she get there, and the other lady is there, the friend is like, "Oh, she's staying with us all night." So they get the wife on the phone, and she's talking to the housemaid Millie. She's like, "I didn't tell you to pick her up at all. I told you to make sure that she goes off with her friend," which she did tell her to. She did tell her to pick the girl up, so Millie would be humiliated a lot. And this was happening on so many occasions, and the husband was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that you have to go through this with my wife, and she's been through a lot. She As a little kid, her parents' house got burnt down, and when the house got burnt down, she they seem to have think she did it. So not only that, she would invite the women in the neighborhood. They got these groups, and these women in these neighborhood, they would come over, the women, and the women in the neighborhood, when she leave, they would whisper. Millie was in there because she the housemaid, so she was in there filling up the tea. She's like, "Go fit." The wife act like a real bitch, but hey, she not crazy. She not crazy. She in survival mode. So the wife playing along, it look like the wife is crazy. She go and pour the tea while the wife walk out. Don't you know these women is in there talking about how crazy she is, how the man is such a good husband and stick by her. Oh, how oh, do you know what she did? She drowned a baby. She even talking about how the little baby was drowning, and she got arrested for trying to take herself out and drown the freaking little baby. Cause it's a child involved in this now. It's a daughter. The girl now about probably 10 years old, but they in there whispering about how the husband is such a hunk and how they don't understand how he put up with this crazy wife and how they got an ironclad prenup where, honey, if she leave him, she ain't getting nothing. And he come, mind you now, he come from a wealthy family. And this, let me tell you, his mother in this movie, when you take notice of the mother, because what I'm about to get to my point before I don't want to tell all of it, but maybe I am telling too much, and I don't want to ruin it for nobody. But even if I'm telling you, you need to look at this movie. It's a lot of symbols in this movie. This movie has undertones of the Epstein files too, but it's not in a where they got a group of women. This is him working on it. They working on individual women. So the mother, when you go and look at the little girl, she got this dollhouse, and the little girl act real strange. This child, at first I was like, this is a mean little girl. But as the movie went on, I seen that little girl not only was going through that little girl, it wasn't just the mama, which is the wealthy looking wife. If you looking on the outside, you seeing this wealthy woman that stay at home and got this fine husband. He's a hunk, and he puts up with her craziness, and she going to the crazy house and this and that. Honey, don't you know that the mother is reminding me of Barbara Bush? I don't even think, to me, that woman don't look like. I'm like, this movie got a lot of symbology in it. The mother looked like Barbara Bush, which, no disrespect, but the mother looked like a damn gone man, look like a woman, look like a man dressed as a woman. I don't even think that's a woman. Honestly, that looked like a man. I don't think I to me, this is my opinion going in my imagination. I really don't think that's his real biological mother. I don't. But this mother looks like a damn man. This woman is this mother. I'm like, you know what? Well, if you want to know how a man is, you need to observe his mother. Because I'm telling you, a man ain't nothing but his mother extroverted. That's all a man is. And sometimes I think that man is more like that mother than the daughter is. Because a lot of times that daughter, and greetings, everyone. Everyone, thank you for joining the live. I'm doing a reaction to that movie, The Housemaids. That movie, it does have undertones of the Epstein files, but it's not a group of ladies and girls. It's just like one woman. That mother, it reminds me of Barbara Bush. Barbara Bush reminds me of like a man that was in drag. I mean, no disrespect, but she does. That mother looks like that. So that's what I'm like. This movie is deeper than what meets the eye. The mother, like I said, the man is going to be a lot like his mother. If Because the mother, even if the husband is there, the husband is going to be off or whatever working, and a lot of times that child is going to be nurtured and reared up by that mother. If you want to know how a man is, you need to observe the mother. That mother plays a big role, honey. So in the movie, it goes on. Millie is getting falsely accused, and the lady is acting crazy and having these episodes and all this. So I just wonder, like, okay, so this is what happens. She takes the crazy wife, the wealthy crazy wife, takes is acting like she's trying to have a baby. So what happens is they go to the obstetrician and gynecologist or something, and they come back and she having a whole panic attack because evidently she been told she can't have a baby now. This is she been told that she can't have a baby, and he want a child because that's not his biological child. She had that baby before she met him, and she was working as a little she was in law school when she got pregnant, honey. Got pregnant by her professor, and she became a single parent, so she had to drop out of law school. She was right at the verge of going into intern. She was about to graduate. Actually, she did the years, but she ended up getting pregnant by the professor, and she fell on some hard times. But she started working at some kind of office, and that's how she met this wealthy man. And you know how she met him? She got embarrassed because she was breastfeeding, and she went in there to get him some kind of paperwork, just a regular secretary, and she had leaked milk out of her through her dress. Her breasts were leaking, so the boss humiliated her. So here he goes, saving the damsel in distress, Mr. Honk, handsome Prince Charming. And that's what get us too. We have been taught and indoctrinated that one day Prince Charming is gonna come, and he might be on a white horse, or he might be in a Bentley or a Cadillac or whatever, or a Tesla, and he's gonna save us. And we're not gonna have to worry. We're gonna go behind this white picket fence, and we're gonna live happily ever after. Honey, that was all an illusion. It all that is an illusion. That's what put a lot of women, a lot of us in danger. Because I know I heard that lady saying that movie. She said even when me and my daughter didn't have no money, we were better off than this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? She said I ain't even gonna tell you everything, but she was like, she was thinking back. She said even when we were broke, I had my freedom. We didn't have a dime, me and my baby, and she loved her baby. Like, if you see the movie at the beginning, you would think like she just crazy because her parents died when she was young, and she no, that's what the illusion is. That's what grass is green on the other side. That's what she was made to look like. And it's not about the men. His mother was the mastermind behind this too, helping him. The mother. It don't just be the men. This ain't a man bashing review. It be they working together in the patriarchy, not a, but this patriarchy, and it's not all like, oh, this is how the Caucasian or the white. No, this is a spiritual thing. It be women working with them. It be the men. It be these mothers raising these sons like that. That man was crazy, but you wouldn't ever look. You wouldn't be able to look at him. He would be looked at. We got a plenty of them in our society. We got a plenty of that going on. You would not be able to look at this man and tell that he was. I mean, he was, honey, he was a catch. He looked like a catch, but this man was very dangerous, and that's what you have. Like, you have wolves in sheep's clothing, and it don't be just men. It be women too. You know, sometimes these mothers they raising monsters, and it's sad that the you know what I'm saying, that the women and the men, sometimes these men, hey, sometimes these women are monsters that's being raised too. And it's sad that these people are set out into society as wolves in sheep's clothing, and they know how to act, they know how to carry themselves, they know they gotta have the money, and they know they gotta look good. Cause I noticed in the movie that he kept worrying about the women coloring their hair roots and stuff blonde. He liked the blonde hair, so that lady had to always make appointments. I ain't even gonna tell you how he broke her to make her dye her roots, keep dyeing her roots. He was like, it's very important. Your hair is a privilege. And how he would, torture her to make her keep her appointments to even dye her hair roots and stuff blonde. And even towards the end, how the mother was talking about the teeth is a privilege, and this and that. And then it's another thing about unity. She actually she was trying to escape. So she brought that girl there because she knew that girl could handle him. Because she knew the girl had been in prison for murder. And she even knew why the girl had been in prison for murder. So if you look at it, it looked like she was just a bad person. And she went to prison because she was defending a little girl in private. Well, she got a scholarship to go to this school. She went around these wealthy kids. It was a girl being raped. And so she snapped and hit the boy in the head to get him off of the girl. And he ended up dying, and she ended up getting like 15 years, but she did 10 straight up. And once she got out, she had 5 more years to do a parole, and she had to get a job. So that lady really knew the whole time what she was doing. She wasn't crazy. She was trying to survive and escape. And what I liked about it is how her little girl was like, well, we gone now, but are you gonna help Millie? She was like, Millie can handle him. She was like, Millie can handle. She studied that girl. She said Millie can handle him on her own. And the little girl was looking at her mom like, are you sure about that? She said, we gotta help Millie, cause that little girl done been, that man was, he done set it up to make her look like she done drown her daughter, make it look like she done tried to take herself out. He done made it look like around the community that he was a prized possession. And that was the illusion. And that's the illusion that a lot of us, we see what we want to see, but we don't have the spiritual discernment that we should have to be able to see through the water, and see through the trees and really see what's going on in these situations, the grass ain't always greener. And because people, I mean, these women were like locked away, and he wasn't doing it like the Allen or whatever, but it was kind of like an Allen because it was a secluded mansion, and it was behind these beautiful walls. It was behind these beautiful trees and this on these acres of and land in this mansion. And these women were this woman was going through and he would get women. He would target women that nobody really didn't care. Like, she was a single parent. She didn't have much family support. The other lady, but the wife targeted Millie because she knew that she was a person that didn't have a connection with her parents, and she had got out of prison for taking somebody out. So I guess she was like, "Well, honey, I'm gonna turn her on to him so I can escape, and then once I escape, then she can handle him. She can do whatever she got." I think that the wife really wanted that girl to take him out. And I ain't gonna tell you the rest, but I'm saying that's what the wife was smart. She done cased the girl out, done studied her, and saw that what she went to prison for, and she needed some help. And to not to make a long story short, they ended up working together. And even the see, that's why people think that they be getting away with stuff and hiding who they really are, but it's always somebody that know who you are. They know who you are. They know your character. They got a witness. It's always a witness that knows. When you think you pretending and you thinking that you making yourself look good, and you around here in society and don't nobody know and can't see who you is, it's always somebody that know. It is. It's always somebody that know. Cause the cop was like, "Oh, my sister was engaged to him, and when she came to our doorstep, she ain't never been the same no more." So yeah, and like I said, the mother means a lot. If you really want to know how a man is, ch- check out that mother. And even with the women, a lot of times they fight to not be like their mothers. But a lot of times they struggle with that. They don't want to be like their mothers. The women awake a lot faster and see themselves. So they either healing and trying to be a better version, or they either not facing, they demons, and they really being defeated. So it's good to go within and work on yourself. They say we choose our parents and stuff. Once we figure that out, we can figure a lot of other things out. Yeah, that was my review on that movie. The thing is, women, we have to stop like thinking like things look so good on the outside, because we really don't never know what's going on. Like, men and women, even a man, you never know what's really going on inside that. It's women like that. Women that got like wealth and power, they use that, and they got a man, they might make that man feel less than, or make him look crazy and this and that, or in society. So it could go both ways. And that's the era of the patriarchy, which the patriarchy is not all bad. It's just the people that was ruling, you know what I'm saying? They have brainwashed and manipulated and indoctrinated, and have puppets to abuse the weak. That's what it is. It's abuse. The really it's the abuse of the weak, or people you think that don't nobody care nothing about. You trying to control and manipulate them, and drain energy off of these weak people. And that's what she said. She knew his weakness was that he needed to be adored and admired. So yeah, just we have to be careful to thinking that, oh, this person got this, and they got this resource, and they got, because the grass ain't always greener. Like she was saying, she was more happier when her and her daughter was struggling than what she did what they had them being happy when she got with Mr. Prince Charming, with the mansion and the family money and all this and that. He was crazy in the end. But you wouldn't I didn't see that coming. But I kind of like suspected it, but I thought that what I thought how I thought it was gonna be was the wife was gonna try to take her out or whatever. Like, she was gonna just snap, but no. It was a twist. Like, all of a sudden, old boy was like, "You need to be punished." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Okay." So he really was making the wife look like she was crazy, and so they was all praising him and adoring him, and saying, "Oh, I don't understand why he put up with his wife and she don't have anything, and he married her and she didn't have nothing." So that's what people like that do. They will hook up or marry somebody that they feel like don't nobody care nothing about, cause that way they feel like they can have full control. And I guess that's what they was doing. Sometimes with the Epstein Island and stuff, they would get people that nobody would look for, or children that they had our parents had already sold them out. Cause sometimes these parents they sell their children out. They sell them. They sell them before they even born. They make contracts and stuff. Look at that movie, him. You don't trust this. What it say in that Bible? Don't trust no man. That mean nobody, no woman. Don't fully put your trust in no human being. Yeah, they made contracts for that man. That dad made a contract with the NFL before he was born. I mean, when he was a little boy, or before he was born, the daddy was trying to live vicariously through the son. With that movie, him with Marlon Wayans, the dad had already sold his son over to the NBA. I mean the NFL before he was even born. His daddy made contracts. So yeah, like I said, that mother is a big. It's not just bashing on me. That mother played a big significant symbol in this movie called The Housemaid. It's a novel by Frida McFadden, but that movie is really good. And then I've been looking at another movie too. This is funny. And I was told about this movie through brother Sear, the Duke of Tears. It's called Trick Baby. It's based this is this movie was made in 1971. It's based off of the book by Iceberg Slim, the pimp from back in those days. It's a movie based off of a trick baby. Guess what it's about? It's about this white. He looks white, but his mother was black. But he's passing as a white man, but he's coming from a black woman because he looks white, and it's called Trick Baby. And it's because he's being mentored by this black older guy that's one of the top of the line scammers, and they go around scamming people. But he's scamming the white people because he can pass for white, and the mastermind behind him is this older black dude. So this is what a series is talking about: how we always blaming the white man and the white man this and the white man that, when really it wasn't people that are like us, but they are distant relatives to us that were the masterminds, the black nobility behind all of this mess. And they still exist. That those people were their puppets, and they were taught to treat their women like we be like, oh, the white man started out doing this with. They wasn't even here. They ain't even been here but a few hundred. They might not even be. They ain't been here but a few hundred years. So we can't blame everything and say, oh, they did. It was people that looked like us, but they were the dirty Moors that infiltrated, because everybody on the face of the earth were melanated. So, they taught these men how to mistreat these women and stuff like that. These were the dirty Moors and the wicked ones that they try to get rid of with the floods and stuff like that. So yeah, we have to be careful, and then we can't say, well, the men, because it's women. It was women that were wicked, holding up these patriarchies and these oppression of women and all this and that. Because the mother in this movie, she was involved and knew everything he was doing. Because she texted him and was like, when he was started torturing the other girl, she's talking about, have you processed the divorce papers yet, my beautiful son? And I don't even think that was his mother. And I really think that was a man in drag. I really do. And see, that's another thing that they do. They fool us to make us think that these are women in these offices and stuff, the president's wives, and even over there, I don't know for sure, but allegedly, what Candace Owen is saying that over there in France, that's a man. It be true. They do the inverted thing. It don't really be women, but then they'll come out and tell us in a daggone like conspiracy theory, but they know we ain't gonna believe it. They know we will not believe that they got a man fronting as a woman as a president, a first lady, and all this kind of stuff. They don't think we would believe it, but that's what they do. They do the upside down, the inverted type stuff. So that's why you got these these. That's why you got this stuff going on. These people been believing in abusing the weak, not just women, but men too. The men are looked over. They like, oh, it's women, 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 because the women is a resource too. But the men must be too. But they just don't even say anything about, oh, it was men and little boys. It's always about the women, but that ain't even good. That's the cause hate between the what they call us the cattle, the Goya. That's the cause division. That causes division between the regular people. That's why they do that. Always acting like they're gonna save the women when they don't care nothing about none of us. They don't care. They just want us to be divided amongst each other. So they will say, "Oh, her save the little girls, and don't hurt it." When all the time they doing they trafficking, organ harvesting, sacrificing, eating them all that the little girls and the little boys, the pizza gate and the hot dogs, ordering $60,000 worth of hot dogs to the White House and the pizza parties. That's boys and girls. So it's just the divide and conquer. They work better when we hate and we are divided amongst each other. Um, but in the movie, it was a guy. Look, God, Big Mama always got somebody to help. The gardener was the one trying to help her get out of that. It was a gardener the whole time. Looked like he was pretending. He's like, don't speak English. Me don't speak English. Whole time that motherfucker said I had a sister that was with a bastard like this. Like he already done peeped it out. He already done. It's always got a way of escape. No matter what you might be in, you might be in a situation. You can be in situations like this with family members. Cause I've seen situations where you got family members that'll try to make people seem crazy or like they unfit or like they can't take care of their kids and telling people around the people that they crazy. People do this all the time. They'll be like, oh, he crazy. Something wrong with him. Don't listen to him. Look, if he come and talk to you about something, don't believe it because he demon possessed. I seen this in the Christian community. I seen this happen to people, and that be the most woke person, the most sane person you ever want to meet. The one that they look at as the black sheep, the one that they tell you that's crazy, that deranged, and just be talking and lying and in illusions, and you can't believe nothing that they say. That's the person that you better listen to. You better listen to that person, because most of the time that person that's looked at as the black sheep, the crazy one, the demon possessed one. And even in these books, sometimes you got to be careful because the one they write about in these religious books, that's the bad guy. Sometimes I be cutting my eyes like that might be the person I need to be checking into, because that might really be the hero right there, the one that they put in these books as being the bad. Because I know if a story was written about me from the people that don't like me as for even family members, if they wrote a book about me right now and I didn't have no control over it, and people would read it in history, they would say I was the bad guy. And the people that you really need to watch, they would say they were the ones that were the good people that God loved. And I would say I would have my discernment on like, ooh, what God? Because you got to say, what God is this that would approve people going and taking people land, raping and killing women and children like they did our indigenous ancestors worldwide, killing the women because the women own the land. The matriarchs own the land in Iran. They own that peninsula. They owned it in Asia, which is Europe, is really Asia. The Asiatic blacks over here in the ancient Americas. Okay. And when I say Americas, I'm talking about Haiti, Guatemala, Trinidad, Jamaica, Venezuela. All of that is considered. It ain't no South and North America. It's all one. They did that. That's not what our ancestors was connected to, the grid lines, the ley line and the dragon line, and uh the way they laid out these maps and stuff is nothing with these fake fraudulent maps that they've been doing since the mid 1700s when this fraudulent when this fraudulent government overtook everything. So yeah, it's no North America and South America. It's all one. It's all Turtle Island. These invisible, fake, fraudulent maps and ley lines and timelines and even lied about even that calendar ain't it. This is the new year. This is the new year that just came in. The lunar new year. All of these illusions and stuff. Like you have to be discerning. You have to go with it's all within you. You don't need no hero. You don't need no savior. You don't need no Prince Charming on it. He not coming. Ain't none of it'll be a demon and looking like an angel of light. I'm telling you, you better look from with that movie. That lady said I was happier when I was broke. Then living, it look like I'm living in a lap of luxury. And look at me, everybody think I'm crazy. This man preying on the weak, abuse of power. And you got people like that. It's not just no men. I ain't bashing no. You got people like that, honey. You got people like that that'll attract to you. They'll attract to you because they smell it and they want to use your energy and suck your energy, and they will set it up to make it look like you are the bad guy. And the whole time they feeding off it. He needed them women there. He said after that girl done about done let him know I'm not dealing with it. See, she wasn't gonna take what that other wife took. That wife been taking, but she done got to the point where she like, oh, he gotta go. So I'm bringing in a professional. Like she didn't tell the girl like I'm bringing you here to take this nigga out. She just brought her there and let it play out like that. Yeah, like I gotta get my daughter again. I can't die with my him having control over my daughter. She said, she got desperate. She like, I gotta do something. So she like, let me bring in this motherfucker here, cause she already done took one of them out. I know she took that one out. She can take this. Look, it got so good till after they did what they needed to do, she done referred her to another house. That lady said, you came, she specifically preferred you. You look on the lady, Rich, she talking about, my husband is a hard man. She got her hand on the knife in the you know how they got that knife is sitting in the wood thing where they got the different types of knives in the kitchen, and she had a big old bruise on her wrist. So that let me know they got it where this movie's supposed to be fiction, but you can't tell me it's fiction because honey, I believe it. What they gonna do? What those wealthy women that sit behind those big beautiful houses in those 50 and 60 and hundreds of acres of land with those bored silver tongue husbands that's been to the dentist all their lives, that done ate the best omega-3 fatty acid seafood, that's had the personal trainers, that's been to the best doctors, that's been to the best dentists. Oh, they might have had some a little malfunctions when they were born, but they have the wealth and lapse of luxury where the doctor will do the cosmetic surgery to them, and they eating right and then build themselves up. What in the hell is them little wives gonna do with that kind of power? And they got that mother, that sick mother, backing them, and that wealth backing them, and that fiduciaries backing them, and the irrevocable trust, and the gold and the silver standards and the investments and BlackRock. What is them women gonna do, honey? They gotta get it how they live and figure it out from within. So I really don't believe that book was fiction. I believe it's some truth to that movie, Housemaids. Cause what else can they do? What else can they do but do get it how they live and try to? They can't just come out and tell people, oh, you think this is a good man? He's handsome. Yes, he's charming. Yes, he's wealthy. He has all the power. But y'all, this is a horrible man. Who gonna believe the wife? Because in the patriarchal society, even though we going into the Aquarius era and into the rise of the divine feminine, it ain't fully risen yet to that point where people still look. They still gonna look at the woman as a bad guy. So what they gonna do? They gotta get it how they live, honey. That's right. So, um, I just wanted to do that review. It's not no man bashing review talking about men this and men that. No, I'm talking about the mother was working with the son. When you gotta observe a lot of times these women, and most of the time the son gonna be like their mother, like that daughter. She might be just like the mother. She might be a better version or a worse version, or she might be balanced. But that man, he gonna be a male version of that mother. I'm trying to tell you. And the undertones of the Epstein files is they were doing the groups of women and children and boys. This man, in this movie and this mother, they were working on them one by one. But it's still the same concept of being on a beautiful landscape, and it looks like you living in paradise and luxury, like that movie Blink. What is it? Blink Twice. You going? It's an illusion where you being whisked away by a handsome prince, but in the meantime you being sedated. They being sedated in that movie Housemaid, and the Blink Twice on that island. They being sedated and they don't know what's going on. And the sad part of this movie, she had a child that was involved. Ain't no telling what he was doing to that baby. Ain't no telling what that weird mama was. That won't even a blood. That was somebody. That was her child. That wasn't his daughter. He was pretending that that was his daughter. And listen, on top of that, she was purposely not trying to have. She said, "I don't want his evil seed in me." She was that lady was playing crazy, but she done blackmailed the doctor, so the doctor wouldn't tell him that she done had an IUD, meaning that birth control, where she couldn't get pregnant. She made the doctor. I don't know how she got that doctor to do that. She made that doctor tell him her ovaries was fucked up. She said, "I refuse to give him a baby." This evil man. So yeah, that was. Y'all need to look at it. Y'all need to check it out. It's called Housemaids, and it's also it's just talk about like a change is here. We just gotta take it like we can't be like on some old girl, you good cause he got money, girl. Or, oh, you good, bro, cause she got money. You don't never know what's attached. Oh yeah, they good cause they done gave you this, and you don't never know what's attached to this stuff. You gotta be careful signing these contracts and what you sign. Sometimes it's best to just walk away. Walk away. That lady Eddie, she was like, "Yeah, I'm moving to California. We'll be fine. We'll survive." She got the hell out of there. And I'm surprised she escaped because most people, we don't live to hear them tell their story because they don't survive. What about all them people on that island that we don't know that didn't survive? The children, the men, the women, the boys, and the girls. And like I said, they'll look over the men and the boys and talk about, oh, the girls, the little girls, the women, so that the men can feel like, oh, don't nobody give a damn about me. They don't even care that I got abused. Like, what about my little asshole? What about what happened to me? What I'm scared to they don't want the men to speak out. They don't want them because guess what? If a man tap into his feminine side and really tap into it, not to the point of what y'all thinking feminine mean, ain't nobody talking about putting on no wig and looking like a fool and you got a beard. Now some of them do too. I ain't even gonna lie, I done seen some of them. They don't look too weird with it with the beard and the wig. I seen some, but it's very few men that can put on a wig and a beard and lipstick and look okay. It's not too many that can do that. Now we've seen it all through time because with the pimps and stuff, we thinking like, oh, the pimp is cool, but the pimp be like a homosexual. The pimp really ain't. That's why he don't have to sleep with no woman because he ain't into women like that. The pimp is think he a bad bitch, right? That's how he can manipulate these women and have them going out there and selling their bodies and coming back to him, and they giving him his money because the pimp is really a homosexual that's actually able to manipulate the mind. He know the psychology of a woman. He studied just like Iceberg Slim. He studied the woman so well. He know the psychology of a woman. He know how she think. A pimp knows the sense that a woman like. He knows what gets her turned on. He knows, you know what I'm saying, how to manipulate her to get her to go out there and just give her body up to another man and bring. The pimp ain't no a regular man. That's like a homosexual that has a lot of discipline when it comes to sleeping with women. Yeah, because it probably, if the woman is broken and got low self-esteem, do you know how much, what is it called? You know how much of a what? You know how much of a fucking warlock you gotta be around a woman that's done got herself all sexy with lingerie and she half naked and she walking around you and you ain't getting turned on. Maybe every now and then they probably do, but they're not sleep. The pimp ain't sleeping with the whole lot because that's his product. That he looking at her as a resource, as a product. You got to have That's a man that really don't. He don't. He really hate. He probably hate his mother. He really don't like women. If he could look at them as a resource, he see them completely as a resource, as a commodity, and a lot of, and I hate to say it, but this society has has made a lot of men think like that about women, and we have actually bought into it. It's not all their fault either, because we act like we got something to sell all the time. I mean, a lot of women do. Girl, look, I remember I was working with this madam. She was a client of mine at this sophisticated Alzheimer's unit. She was in the Alzheimer's unit, and honey, that Alzheimer's unit was expensive. Them people be in that place, they be drinking wine, eating caviar. When we have a catering, a party, I'm talking about it be the top seafood that we be eating. We be eating lobster and all that. And I be like, I'm coming to this party. I used to love when I got snowed into this facility, honey. I be eating good. I'm talking about the food good, everything. But yeah, she used to say, you girls are sitting on a gold mine. And when we buy into that and think of ourselves as a resource, like I got something to, sell, and I, everything about me is a resource, a resource. Oh, I gotta make money off of this. I gotta make money off of that. Da, 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 da. I mean, it's nothing wrong with making money and using your feminine energy to be okay and be resourceful. But when you are not balanced and you tapping too much into that materialism, too much into that masculine energy or that male logic of thinking like a, that masculine side of greed, it gets to be, yeah, out of balance. It's too much. It's out of pocket. And that's when we can't blame the men, because we buying into that shit. Like, I'm for sale, baby. I'm for sale. Can't blame them, because it's men and women involved in this tragedy. It's not just the men. We can't just say, "Oh God," because these women is raising these men. I don't know. I don't know if it's women. It's women with. If it's men with vaginas, or they really don't have the mindset of the women that was anciently ruling. Those women were more so balanced and wasn't hungry for power and control and money and lust. They were righteous rulers, balanced rulers. This what we dealing with now. A lot of these women, if they had the power and they would act just like the men, they might be worse or they might be better. I don't know, but it ain't. I mean, it ain't nothing good. Cause when you got people imbalanced and that want to abuse power, just like they say, oh, if the Democrats would have got it, man, I don't think Camilla Harris would have saved us. I just don't. I don't. I have no faith in that. That's none of them. Either side, I don't have no faith in it. But I'm just saying, like, I know it would have been more of an influx of people, more people coming into this country. I don't see how that would have helped us none. I ain't saying that, can't nobody come here, but they need to change the goddamn rules. It don't need to be where motherfuckers coming here and harming the people that's already here. It don't need to be where motherfuckers come here taking tax dollars and talking shit and taking away from the people that's from here. I ain't never seen that happening all over the world, nowhere but here. That's the only place I seen this shit go down. I can't go. I can't go to no motherfucking Guatemala. I can't go to no Jamaica. I can't go to Africa with no shit. Talking shit to the people that's there, and I don't speak the language, and I tell them I ain't gotta speak the language and they can kiss my ass. And I'm rolling my eyes at the native people. And I'm disrespectful to the native people, telling them that I'm here and they ain't gonna get no more money, and I'm taking their money and I'm taking their place and they lazy. Man, you'll be dead in the African Ocean. They'll find your ass somewhere. They'll be done gave you some of that water. I done seen people from America go to these other countries thinking that they can talk any kind of way to these. They won't even talking shit. They just be like, I done seen content creators that's went over to other countries and now they are no longer with us and they have passed suspiciously, right? They weren't even doing a lot. They was just like, I think these people are coming against me, and I'm a single woman over here in this country, and it seems like that they jealous of me and they don't like me. They won't even doing a lot, and they ain't even here no more. Imagine going over to these countries doing what they disrespect. Imagine going to these other countries and doing what they do to us, disrespectful, thinking talk come over here, disrespectful, talking down about Americans. I mean, these are our tax dollars. Them fucking Democrats ain't paying shit. They taking our money too. You gonna come over here and disrespect us? You go to the damn restaurant, they rolling their eyes at you and shit. I'm like, wait. Ain't these supposed to be summer jobs for the teenagers in America when they why the fuck y'all here? Y'all sitting up here talking shit, ain't washing your goddamn hands, can't understand at least make them understand. I went to one store and I told this bitch, I said, listen, you need to speak English. You know what she told me? Order and all she said in English was, I don't have to speak. I said, oh, you don't? Okay. And I got a lot of people I'm cool with that's from other places. I love some of these people from other countries because they treat me better than the people I know. But I'm saying I done seen a lot of bullshit too, a lot of disrespect. And I'm not gonna take it. Hey, me casa, you casa. You not and I ain't just talking about no people from no Spanish places. I'm talking about the motherfuckers from everywhere be disrespectful. Whether they from Africa, they could be some assholes too. Whether they from Jamaica, uh, anywhere. I'm just saying, people from all over got smoked with black people. Oh, and I see how they act with the other. They act like they kissing the white man ass, but they want to smoke with us. The what they call it, that old fake name that old imposter that passed away done gave us, African American, and we ain't from no Africa, but we definitely are the indigenous to the Americas, the originals of the Americas. But I don't know about no Africa because they don't like us, so we not from no Africa, honey. And I have friends in Africa that tell me that they like, we don't know anything about a story about no slave ships, and I'm like, yeah, I know you don't, because the shit didn't never happen. The shit didn't happen till Marcus Garvey and all them agents got together, and then they really got with that Pan African shit. Decided that, with that movie Roots, that fake ass Roots movie that Alex Haley got sued about, because it was all lies, talking about somebody coming over here on a slip. I'm done. Anyway, that movie, The Housemaids, is a movie that you should go check out. It has lot of symbolism in it, and if you look at it from a spiritual point of view, it will teach you some stuff about like looking at things and having your discernment on deck. Also, how the grass is not greener, and people with money, you got to be careful. Even a man, we think like, oh, the man is safe. He can bring. Man, sometimes they get involved in these relationships and they think they're gonna have it made. A lot of these people with this money and these families are in these secret societies. They believe in. It's nothing wrong with believing in. I don't look at witches and all that as being bad, but you got a lot of people working in stuff that's dark. Like they believe in mind manipulation and stuff like that. You got a lot of geneticists. The most of these people that's got that old money, they into them secret society, they geneticists. They might marry another race, but they need to survive. They need their gene pool to survive because they know that a more melanated a lot of times their gene pool is, the more they can survive what's to come, because they know that it's a mutant gene if it's not highly melanated. So they needed to get back to the melanation because that's natural to the planet Earth. That's what the Earth recognizes, that genotype, that phototype of being natural to the Earth. And not now they saying that Leviathan is waking up. Don't you know Leviathan gonna destroy anything that's not organic to this Earth? So of course they would want more melanin. That's why they say when they kidnap the other races, they'll eat them. But when they kidnap the melanated people, they trying to use their organs because that melanin is natural to organ. If you look in the earth, everything that's in our bloodstreams and all that is in the earth. We come from we are spiritual beings connected to source, to our higher self, but we also are organ. We are manifestations of this earth. You got gold in your blood, you got silver in your blood, melanin is in there, melanin is even in the soils and stuff. So when Leviathan wakes up, and when it comes to the things being cleaned and purified, everything that's not organic to this earth is not going to exist no more. So that's why a lot of times they want to go into trans. They went into the trans, as far as the trans of am I saying it right? The trans LGBTQ, and wanted to allow the kids to become changing over to different sexes before they're 18, and trying to get you to be okay with them. That Epstein mess with them. Don't call me a pedophile because just because I like to play with babies genital areas, don't that don't mean I'm a bad person because the baby might want it. The child might be. Cause what fucking world do we live in where a baby and a little 3, 4 year old is turned the fuck on? Please tell me, cause I ain't gonna never understand that goddamn world where it's okay for me to sit here and put a baby in my lap and say, "Oh, that's my boyfriend." What? And they took my these motherfuckers took they shadow banned. They blocked my stream that I put up about how these motherfuckers, the youngest child to get married was in Kentucky. That was a 5 year old. And I believe it's probably younger than that. These motherfuckers let a 5 year old in Kentucky get married. I done seen pictures where the damn 5 year old is pregnant. They do this worldwide, but this here too. They want to make it seem like this is the it used to be paradise before they came and fucked everything. Them dirty Moors, and it won't all white people. They made them and sent them, but I'm talking about the motherfuckers that came first, that infiltrated, that look like us. Okay, the dirty motherfuckers that's not like us, that's now working behind the scenes, still trying to fuck shit up. But hey, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. But yeah, when I put this up here about how Jerry Lee Lewis and Hugh Hefner were messing with these little girls and stuff. What about them two girls that Hugh Hefner had, the twins? Those girls eat so much now, so they will not look attractive because of what they experience in the Play Bunny house, whatever that shit is called, the Playhouse or the Bunny Hop house, where he had all those in the penthouse, where he had all those young girls in that mansion with them tunnels. That they don't talk about that. Why they don't talk about that? He had tunnels under his house. They don't talk about Jerry Lee Lewis marrying his 13-year-old. They don't talk about the shit been going on. How they don't talk about how they were marrying off these girls that was children. Even in my great grandmama's generation, Cora, how Cora was married off at 16. May she rest in power. I don't even know if she's been reincarnated, but how she was met. They married them off as resources, as slaves, and they killed them off early, whether by letting them bleed out during pregnancy and not providing them with the proper medical care at these butcher piddles where they had the housewives and the midwives that would come and deliver our babies. But once they took over and took the power away from the matriarch and took the land away from the women and made it so the woman had to have the husband's last name, which husband means landowner. They would let our women go into the hospitals and they might not smother them or kill them right out, but they will let them bleed out. They will let them, if they don't get enough blood out lose enough blood out the childbirth, and they're not having proper medical procedures, they're going to eventually die. And if they don't die right then, if something, what is it called? Those plagues that would come, like the measles or the chicken pox or the fevers, what is it called, the something fever and all that, would take them out later on because their health was, they were anemic, they hadn't got their blood supply back up, or they were like lacking nutrients and stuff because they didn't get the proper care at these butcher pillows. That's what they did. That's what they did it at, a lot of it. That's what they do a lot of it. That's why they wanted us to integrate. That's why they wanted to take us away from our own root doctors that they demonized, that was messing with the roots of the earth, the natural herbs of the earth, the root. They made root. They even demonized the word root. Really? They said you got roots on them, you got roots on. They put roots on people. I remember that my ex used to say that. He was like, "Oh, y'all from that crossroads," and they always associate the crossroads with, "Oh, they sell the devil. You know, sell your soul." You can't sell your fucking soul. You might can make fucking contracts. Yeah, I'll say you can. I'll say you can make contracts with goddamn entities, but why are you making fucking contracts with anybody when, bitch, you a deity? If you know who you are, you know you an original, and you know where you come, you a fucking deity. Why are you making a contract with anybody, any entity? Huh? And if I'm going to a fucking crossroad, I'm the that, that's the split. They done demonized it, but they fucking with the crossroads. Them motherfuckers know that's the bridge between the spiritual world and the do you know the crossroad or four-way stop is the bridge between the two worlds, right? That's the those intersections and shit where they got them four-way stops. That's why you got to be careful. You got to be aware. You got to be discerning because when you traveling amongst these highways, it's entities over all these regions and locations and roads and stuff, right? And they be having to feed it blood and sacrifices, okay? That's why in certain areas it's always accidents and stuff happening because they have to feed these entities because they want to stay in fucking power. And you better be fucking aware of that. And it's when they talk about spiritual wickedness in high places, what do you think that's what do you think that book is? That's a Mason, that's a high level Mason book. It's talking in allegories. It's talking about different things at one time. Like if it say, okay, I'm gonna help you out. If it say it's spiritual wickedness in high places, it is talking about the governments. It's talking about in the air. It's talking about other things too. It's not just saying one thing. When it talk about the sun, it's talking about the actual sun in the sky. It's talking about the fucking sun within you. So you gotta know these things and you gotta be discerning because you can read that book 10 times and it get a different meaning each time depending on what level you're at, what you're tapped into. If you're really going within and tapping into your higher self, or you can read that bitch literally like an idiot. What I've seen the motherfuckers that I know do like a dummy and read it. Oh God, we're going to Israel. That's the problem. And when it's all within you, it's talking about the damn 13 zodiacs, the 12 disciples. You know it's gonna be they're gonna take out the 13 because that's that number that they don't want to deal with because they know that's the mother number. That's the matriarch, the 13. It's talking about stuff that's within you, and as within, so without. It's talking about the stars and the planets and all that. You are a whole star system right within you. Everything going on up there is with as above, so below. So yeah, check out that movie so that you can get the symbolism. It's called Housemaids. This has been a good talk, and I am checking out support Maya's Temple of Healing and Unconditional Love. This has been my son Goddess 777. This is a review and a little getting off the topic, but mainly a review of the movie Housemaids. Thank you. Y'all have a nice evening. Unconditional love, healing, balance, wholeness, and oneness to you.